here's the big challenge. You've got a reflective plane. You've got a ball. You're going to bounce it. What might the bounce pattern look like as this ball bounces up and down the plane? So that's what I'm going to look at today, show you a method for doing this. It's recreational. It could be even practical. Let's take a look. But let's start with a really simple case. You're at a park. Two people are playing catch. How might you sketch a reasonable sort of path of a ball that might go from one to the other? I think we all have seen this. You start with a tangent line that is at that launch angle. You mirror it. You extend them and connect with the number of tangents. So I divided each of these into 13, of course, and connected them. And you get this bounding envelope that you can use to then draw your parabola. This was created by, this is known as the method of Apollonius. It was created by, or at least drew on the work of Apollonius of Perga, who wrote the classic on conics, in which he introduced the parabola. And linking this to an object in flight was the work of Galileo. So each of these people worked on this particular problem, but left out something. The multi-bounce. What happens if you throw your ball to somebody and they miss it, right? It keeps going. Especially if they're against a hill, what exactly is that pattern? So that's what we're going to be looking at. How would you generate multiple bounces between two people? Well, of course, you could just take that initial bounce and copy it. That's not very interesting. It's hard. We're looking for an underlying pattern, right? Another way to maybe make more sense of it is to draw a series of, in this case, 13 circles. We need those tangents. Once we have those, we are set. This is a way to maybe add some structure. Okay, we have 13 bounces. This isn't really telling us much about an underlying structure, although we're actually pretty close here. This is how to actually make more sense of the problem. An incline, let's see if we can get a bounce going up an incline, which is, the launch angle is double the angle of that incline. I'm constraining the problem a bit. This is a bounce pattern that will do it. 6 up, 1 vertical, 6 back down. This was generated online, and we are looking for these tangent lines. So the big question is, what is the pattern with these tangent lines? There surprisingly is a pattern that's somewhat similar to what we see in our upper left. If we extend these tangent lines, we see that it is in fact the same pattern. It's Apollonius sideways. So the idea is, if you had a blank sheet of paper, and this is the upgrade, if somebody said, hey, sketch n bounces up an incline, what would you do? So here's the method. Hold on for just a sec. Before I do it, I'd just like to acknowledge several people in this larger community who helped contribute to this method. Peter Norvig generated the online simulator. Nick Baxter, many trajectory graphs to help with this. George Hart had a nice algebraic solution that contributed. Tadashi Takeda verified this is, in fact, an original method. The way to do it, you've got this person. Let's draw 13 bounces. 13 circles. 2 larger circles that intersect in this way are connecting lines, tangents. We can now bound that pattern. We just need to rotate it. Let's add a tree for realism. Rotate this over, and that is it. This will work for bounce patterns up, down inclines. It'll even work on flat surfaces, our original case. Let's take a look. Here are our athletes. Right? They're about to bounce this ball. Of course, if it looks something like this, it's really 13 bounces that are a subset of infinite bounces. We're looking at those tangents, which are a subset of infinite similar tangents. So those 13 circles are a subset of an infinite number of circles. We create 2 very large, right? We're talking limits here, infinite circles that overlap like this. Throw in our tangent lines, and now we can draw our circles. That is a solution. So in conclusion, next time you're at any kind of sporting or ballistic event, make sure to try the method of Apollonius upgrade. And before you head out, make sure you understand it by trying the n equals 1 case, which is a bit trickier than you might think. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.